What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by Lock City. Hope everybody's still having a good week. Today, another pretty quick podcast, but we do have a lot of games to cover for the first set of play-in games for this weekend's kickoff to the CS2 European Qualifier matches for PGL Bucharest in, obviously, Bucharest, Romania. But before we get into that, another reminder that we are running that sale 70% off for your first 3 months at Lock City, applicable to both the monthly and weekly packages. Use code SPRINGFEVER, as always, to gain instant access for this incredible price. And for all of the odds discussed in today's video, you're going to want to head to thunderpick.io for the best esports odds in the industry. You can use our promo link by heading to tinyurl.com/LCThunder, that's LC Thunder, to get a 100% deposit bonus on your first Thunderpick deposit up to $600. They have most of your major cryptocurrencies for deposit, and you heard that right. They're going to match your deposit bonus for up to $600 when you sign up using our promo link, tinyurl.com/LCThunder. So today we're going to be talking about PGL Bucharest 2025 European Closed Qualifier. We have a hell of a lot of teams. I don't even know how many matches we got here. 16 probably. 8, 4, 16. Yes, so 32 teams playing in the qualifier for Europe. We're going to have some banger matches here. We got a lot of good teams. The way that this bracket is working, they are double elimination format groups. So there are 4 groups of 8. Each group has 8 teams in it, obviously. All of these matches are going to be BO3, and the group winners are going to advance to the playoffs. So in the first group, in Group A, we got Big, Roller Coaster, 500, Sashi, Partizan, OG, GTs or GTS, some call it, and Chimera Esports. Group B consists of Bet Boom, Basement Boys, Monty, Zero Tenacity, 9 Pandas, Rebels Gaming, Spirit Academy, and FaveBet. Group C, we got Metasport, Ninjas in Pajamas, Sinners, Apogee, Passion UA, Leo Team, Fnatic, and Fireflux. And in Group D, we have Eclat, we have Arcred, we have Navi Jr., we have 9, we have Ents, we have Cybershoke, we have Gun 5, or Guns, and we have ESC. So, getting into these matches, they're starting tomorrow morning. So dark and early technically, 4 a.m. Eastern time. It's 10 a.m. I think Romanian time. I don't know what time zone Romania is in or Bucharest is in. I don't know if they have 2 potentially in that country. I doubt it. I'm assuming 6 hours ahead. So I'm assuming that's a 10 a.m. Romanian time start. It's 4 a.m. our time. Again, all of these matches are best of 3. We have 4 matches at 4 o'clock. We have 4 matches at 7 o'clock. We have 4 matches at 10 o'clock. And we have 4 matches at 1 o'clock. First one up for the 4 a.m. matches. We have Big and we have Roller Coaster. So Roller Coaster is a team that consists of pretty much benched players that come from a variety of squads. They have Artfrost, Alpha, Perfecto, Nafany, and Yakindar. So Nafany came over from most recently Bet Boom. Perfecto, I think, most recently was on Cloud9. Yakindar's coming from Liquid. And I believe the other 2 boys were on Aurora most recently, potentially, or Paravision, maybe, actually, Artfrost and Alpha. And they're going up against Big. So Big is number 18th ranked in the world. Roller Coaster does not have a world ranking. When we look at the public consensus for these lines, it's pretty skewed toward Roller Coaster. I think a lot of people are probably just trolling there. We're looking at 60% Roller Coaster. Money line odds, you're getting Big at 1.45 or about minus 200, maybe minus 210 on the money line. Roller Coaster is 2.60 or about plus 160 on the money line. So when we're looking at map history, we don't have really any history for Roller Coaster. They've only played 4 matches together. They're on a 4-match win streak. They've beaten Novak. They've beaten Alliance. They've beaten Inner Circle. They've beaten Arcred. Big has been sketchy as of recently. Their only 2 wins in the last month or so probably have come from FlyQuest and Wildcard. They've been playing big tournaments. They lost to Astralis. They lost to Eternal Fire. They lost to Mouse. They lost to Heroic. They lost to BC Game, though. They lost to 500. They lost to FaZe 3D Max, obviously, justifiable losses. They beat Imperial Valkyries, obviously. They lost to Wildcard. They lost to G2. They lost to Arrow. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning Roller Coaster here. I think Roller Coaster plus 1.5 is a super safe bet, plus 1.5 map spread. So you're betting on them to win at least a map in the best of 3. Big money line might also be your next best bet, to be honest with you. I think that's probably next safest. But I'm going to go Roller Coaster plus 1.5 here. I'm going to go plus 1.5. I would not be surprised if they stole this, but we're going to play it safe. We're going to play the plus 1.5. The next one that we have up here is going to be, also at 4 o'clock, obviously, Bet Boom and Basement Boys. This one's going to be Bet Boom. I mean, the odds are horrible. You're getting Bet Boom at plus 1.05x on the money line, or like minus 2,000. And Basement Boys, you're getting plus 650 or 7.50 times your money. Odds are 76% public consensus toward Bet Boom. Bet Boom obviously wins this, but there is no value in this. I would not be playing this. Basement Boys are not good. They've played some Ancient, but they haven't really played a lot of maps together. Again, you're only looking at 4 matches. They played Cybershock, who they lost to. I think Bet Boom's probably comparable with Cybershock. Cybershock's been playing incredible, but I think Bet Boom is on a similar level to Cybershock at this point in time. If Basement Boys is losing 13-7 to them on Ancient, Ancient's supposed to be their best map. I'm taking Bet Boom here all day. I'm going to go Bet Boom, money line, but again, no value in putting on it on a parlay. Obviously, you're not going to play this as a single, so probably just leave this one off. Bet Boom probably wins at 2-0 if you want to get fancy. If you're throwing every single match on a parlay and you want to get fancy with it, go Bet Boom minus 1.5 map spread. You're betting on them to win 2-0. I think that's probably pretty safe. Next one at 4 o'clock, we're looking at Metasport and Ninjas in Pajamas, or NIP. Metasport and NIP. Odds are really favoring NIP. We have 1.52x on the money line, or about minus 200, and Metasport sits at 2.35x, or plus 135. I kind of like Metasport here. I'm going to be honest. I like the NIP edition of Eros Doce. I think Ujerks is good. I think Snappy plays well at times. Shush is obviously a decent factor. This one's going to be tough. I think your value is probably on Metasport. Metasport definitely wins a map. If we're looking at the map breakdown, I would say that NIP is going to insta-ban Inferno. Metasport is going to insta-ban Train. I think Metasport can win Ancient. I think Metasport could win Nuke. I think Dust 2 would be close. I think Anubis would be close. I think NIP wins Mirage. I don't know. That might be the only... I think Metasport plus 1.5 is going to be your best bet here. They have a similar world ranking. I don't think Metasport is playing awful as of recently. I mean, both of them have been streaky in terms of wins. Metasport's lost to Heroic, which is justifiable. They lost to Gamer Legion. They did lose to NIP 2-1 3 weeks ago. And then a loss to Passion UA. But they haven't been horrible. The last time that they played, Metasport took the first map, which was Anubis. They won 13-6 very handily. But then they lost Mirage 13-9, and they lost Ancient 13-11. That still covers our Metasport plus 1.5. I think if they can take Anubis again, I don't know if they will pick Anubis, but given their history on it against NIP, I think it's a pretty decent outcome, or pretty decent probability of that outcome. And for that reason, I think Metasport plus 1.5 is probably going to be our best bet here. I think they come out firing. They probably win at least a map. I wouldn't be overly surprised if they won the match in its entirety, but I think Metasport plus 1.5 is going to be a good parlay piece there. We want them to win at least one map. The last one at 4 o'clock a.m. is going to be Eclot and ArcRed. So this one is going to be Eclot. It could be close. I'm going to give ArcRed their credit. It could be close. If it comes down to, so I think ArcRed could probably win Nuke. Eclot's just looked horrible on Nuke as of recently. Eclot's got a good Ancient. They have a good Inferno. They have a pretty good Mirage. Their Dust 2 is questionable, but I think ArcRed's going to insta-ban Dust 2. I think Eclot's probably going to insta-ban Train. That leaves Mirage. That leaves Inferno. That leaves Nuke. That leaves Ancient and Anubis. ArcRed picks first. Say they pick Nuke. Eclot picks second. Say they take... I would take Inferno. And Decider probably ends up with something like Anubis. I think Eclot definitely wins Inferno. I think Nuke is the only questionable map in this map pool that ArcRed could win. I think Eclot wins every other map. For that reason, we're going to go Eclot moneyline. ArcRed's had some pretty decent history. Like, they've beaten Spirit Academy. Preezy's in the dumps as of recently, so that Preezy win isn't that good. CPH Wolves, Copenhagen Wolves. They beat Iberian Soul. They beat Incilio. They lost to Roller Coaster. It was a close one. They lost to Z10, or Radar Tenacity. They lost to Bait. They lost to Rush B. But when we're looking at Eclot, they've beaten Zero Tenacity. They've beaten Fnatic. They've beaten Spirit Academy. They've beaten, obviously, Nip Impact. They've beaten Preezy. Their only losses as of recently have come from 9 Pandas. They had a pretty bad one to 500, a really bad one to Force Reload. But I'm taking Eclot here. I think Eclot's going to come out on top. I think this is going to be a close one, definitely the closest of the 4 o'clock matches, but probably one of the closest ones of the day as well. But I think Eclot's going to come out on top here. I'm going to take Eclot on the money line. 1.58 times your money, or about minus 200, maybe minus 190. We're going to add Eklat. Next one we're looking at is going to be 500 and Sashi. So 500 Sashi, this is going to be boring. I'm leaning 500 here. I think they've looked better as of recently. I think they're 29 world ranking on HLTV as a joke, but aside from that, Sashi hasn't looked great. I took Sashi in a couple money line plays in the channel, maybe a week or so ago, or within the last week, and I was not overly impressed by them. I don't think we won a single play off of them. They've lost to GTs, they've lost to Batera, they've lost to Chimera, they've lost to Namiga, they've lost to Nine Pandas. They're on a 5-match losing streak. 500's been winning. They beat Partizan, they beat Batera, they beat Partizan. A secondary time, they beat Bait, they beat Eklat, they beat Nine Pandas. They've been looking good. Last time these guys played was January 23rd of this year, and Sashi won both of those. Sashi won 13-5 and 13-10. So this could be sketchy. The last 2 times prior to that when they played, so 3 days prior to that other match, they played on Ancient, and 500 took Ancient there. They won 13-9. If we're looking at the map pool, I think 500 should take Ancient again. They should take Inferno. They should take Mirage. They should take Dust 2. The only maps that I really see Sashi winning are Nuke, and then if we somehow end up with Train, maybe Train, because 500 doesn't play Train, but Sashi only has a 29% win percentage on Train. I don't think it's obviously not overly impressive, but I don't think it's convincing enough that they're going to be able to take down 500 either. So for that reason, I'm going to go 500 money line. I actually don't even have odds for this one yet. I have no idea what the odds are on this. It's not available on Thunderpick or really any site. 500 super sketchy betting on. I know a lot of books don't carry 500 matches, so if you could find this 500 money line, but odds are you probably can't, and we wasted a minute talking about it. Moving on to the next 7 o'clock match, we have Monte and Zero Tenacity. So Zero Tenacity has been accused of cheating on a number of times, so again, you might not be able to find these odds. Their nickname on esports Twitter is Radar Tenacity. They have come into question a number of times. Nonetheless, Monty should win this. Z10 actually has a higher world ranking. They are ranked 42nd. Monty is ranked 51st. The map pool favors Monty. The match history as of recently favors Monty. These teams haven't played since September of last year, but that's just because the core of Monty was on Monty Gen at that time, and Monty Gen had beaten Zero Tenacity. But if Monty Gen can beat Zero Tenacity, I think Monte can as well. They have Hades, they have Demq, they have Ryu, they have Gimsy, they have Lean. I think they're going to be okay here. I think it might be close. We might get a 2-1 here, but I'm leaning Monty. Monty moneyline is your safe bet. I wouldn't get fancy and go Monty 2-0, but I think Monty wins this. And you're getting 1.65 on the money line, so about minus 185-ish. If I had to take a guess, I don't have an odds calculator up in front of me, but I'm going to guess about minus 185 on that. I think that's a safe bet. We're going to go Monty money line. Sinners and Apogee, also at 7 o'clock. I'm going to go Sinners here. I think Sinners takes this one, 65% public consensus as well, which backs that. You're getting 1.48 on the money line, so like minus 205. Sinners has the much higher world ranking. They're ranked 40th in the world compared to Apogee's 85th in the world. Sinner has the better map pool. Apogee's got a much better nuke. We could see nuke here. Sinners is horrible at nuke. They have a 12% win percentage. Apogee's at 91% against much poorer competition, but they've been winning nuke. I would take Apogee for nuke. I don't think we see Train here. I think Sinners probably win every other map. Dust 2 is kind of questionable. They've only played it once. They would win Mirage. They would win Inferno. They would win Ancient. They would win Anubis. Sinners money line is going to be your best bet here. So add that on there as well. 1.48 or about minus 205. Moving on, still at 7 o'clock. This is our last 7 o'clock match. We have Navi Jr. and 9. This one could be close. I'm leaning Navi Jr. on this one. Odds are 1.65 on the money line for Navi Jr. I almost called him Monty Jr. That's probably about minus 180 in American odds. I think they win this. Cemetery's been playing great. He was like 29-6 the other day, and like 19-3 in another match. He's just been playing excellent. They beat Game Agents. They beat Paravision. That's the match I'm talking about. They did lose to Favebet, and they lost a BC game. I think those aren't horrible, but they are of some concern. They beat Ents. They beat Gun 5 or Guns. They beat a Static. They beat Chimera. They beat a Static a secondary time. They beat Aurora. So I'm going to lean them here. I don't think 9 has been beating great teams. They've beaten Bad News Eagles. They've beaten Alliance. They've beaten Iberian Soul. They've beaten Unity. but I just don't see them getting it done here, realistically speaking. I think Navi definitely wins 2 maps when we're looking at this map pool, looking at match history, looking at how players have been playing. I'm going Navi Jr. on the money line, 1.65x. Moving on to 10 o'clock, so we're halfway through this. 10 o'clock, we got Partizan and OG Sports as the first one up. This one is going to be close. I want to lean Partizan. Partizan is your underdog at about plus 160 or 2.6 on the money line. OG is a moderate favorite at 146x or 205-ish. Again, I'm going to keep recycling that number, but about minus 205 American odds. OG's got the better world ranking. They're 36th ranked in the world compared to Partizan's 55. They also have the better map pool, so this one's going to get risky. Partizan's also lost to 500. They've lost to BC Game. They lost to 500 a secondary time. They got absolutely crushed by BC Game, 13-1 on Ancient. That is horrible. Maybe we are second-guessing this. This one's probably one to leave off, to be honest with you. OG should win this. They could win this. I want to lean Partizan. My heart says Partizan, but OG should win this realistically. I would leave this one off. If you're going to get fancy, maybe Partizan plus 1.5, because you're still going to get around like 1.35 there, or maybe like 1.4. But I think that's probably your best bet. I think that's a better bet than OG Moneyline, which you're getting at 1.46. I think the odds of Partizan winning a map are better than the odds of OG winning the match. For that reason, let's go Partizan plus 1.5. We're going to move on from this and just hope for the best. That one is going to be a absolute sweat fest. Again, recommend leaving it off. If you can't and your impulse is taking over, I would take Partizan plus 1.5. We need them to win one map. 9 Pandas and Rebels, also at 10 o'clock. I'm kind of leaning Rebels here. This is another underdog. I think the safe bet, again, sticking with the trend, is going to be Rebels plus 1.5. We would want them to win at least one map. They can lose 2-1. They can win 2-1. They can win 2-0. We need them to win at least one map. I think that's probably your safest bet. When we're looking at 9 Pandas, they have been winning more as of recently than Rebels. So they beat Monty, they beat Eklot, they beat Sashi, they beat Sinners. They have pretty decent history. They did lose to Paravision. Paravision's been playing pretty decent, so that's fine. And they lost to Bait. They lost to Copenhagen Wolves. They lost to 500. They lost to Monty. They lost to Liquid. They lost to Wildcard. That's fine. Rebels have lost to Aurora, Rushby, ESC. They beat Navi Jr. They lost to NIP somehow. They beat Kono. They beat TGM. Absolute nobodies. They beat Game Agent. They beat OG. That's fine. They lost to Paravision. They lost to Fnatic. This one's going to be close. I think Rebels to win a map is fine. If we're looking at the map pool, Rebels instabans Inferno. 9 Pandas, either Train or Anubis. I'm going to guess and just say they instaban Train. I think Rebels could probably win Dust 2. I think Rebels could probably win Mirage. I think Rebels could probably win Anubis if Train gets banned. If Anubis gets banned, I think Rebels could probably win Train. Ancient would be close. I think 9 Pandas takes Nuke. Inferno's instabanned. I'm leaning Rebels here. I think their map pool is stronger. Competition has been about the same. I'm going to go Rebels plus 1.5 on this one. Again, it's 2.6 on the money line, so you're probably going to get about 1.4 times or like minus 220 on the plus 1.5, but I think that's pretty safe. Next one that we have, also at 10 o'clock, I thought we were done our 10 o'clocks, we're only 2 of the way through, is Passion UA and Leo. This one's going to be Passion UA. Passion UA on the money line is 1.17, so like minus 520, which is not great. But they are the much better team. Leo is ranked 139th in the world. Passion UA is 41st. Passion UA is not going to lose this game, even though the map pool kind of looks like Leo is better. They're not. They play weaker competition. They play teams like Johnny Speeds and Lasercats and Adventurers and Wopa and Kono. And Passion UA is playing teams like Ents and Heroic and BetBoom and Gun5. I think Passion UA takes this. Their wins are much better. Their map pool, like maybe they lose Inferno, but they're winning the match. So I would take them on the money line, 1.17. If you can get it around 1.2, I think that's ideal. If it drops below 1.5, probably not great. But I think Passion UA money line is super safe here. Ents and Cybershock, this one's going to be super fun. Public is favoring Ents. I think Cybershock's been playing really well. Money line odds are 1.52 for Ents, so about minus 200, and 235 times your money for Cybershock, so about, well, it's exactly plus 135. Public is saying 77% ENCE. ENCE has the higher world ranking at 37th compared to Cybershock's 44, so not much higher. Cybershock has been playing really well as of recently. They did lose to Bait. They lost a best of 3, 2-1, but they beat Force Reload. They've beaten Amiga. They've beaten some like horrible teams, but they've also beaten some pretty decent teams. Like Namiga, they beat Amcall, they beat Ecstatic. The rest of them have been kind of sketchy. They did beat Z10. That's a pretty good win. ENCE lost to Navi Jr. ENCE lost to Partizan. ENCE lost to Zero Tenacity. ENCE lost to 9. So ENCE has been not great as of recently. Obviously, they have like better big tournament experience than Cybershock does, but I think Cybershock has something to prove here. I think Glowing coming over from 9 Pandas has been a great addition for them. I think they've been playing good CS. I don't know that ENCE is going to win this. I think, sticking with the trend again, this is what, our third one in a row, we're going to take a plus 1.5. We're going to go Cybershock plus 1.5, so we need them to win at least one map. This one is only 2.35x on the money line, so for them to win a map is probably somewhere around 1.3 or about minus 300. But I think we're going to take them to win a map here. I think they should win a map here. When we're looking at the map pool, I think they could take Mirage. I think they could take Train. I think they could take Anubis. They're not going to win Ancient. They're not going to win Nuke. They're not going to win Nest 2. Inferno is going to get banned by ENCE. It'll be interesting to see what Cybershock bans because they play a lot of CS on a bunch of different maps. Smart thing to do would be ban Nuke. I know they've played a decent amount of Nuke. They have 7 maps on Nuke in the last 3 months. They're at 43%, but ENCE is at 50% against better competition. I would ban Nuke. I would let ENCE ban Inferno, and I would try your luck at probably Mirage as your best bet because ENCE has a 20% win percentage on Mirage. But Train wouldn't be a bad option. Anubis wouldn't be a bad option. I think they definitely win a map here. The next 4, which are the last 4, and are at 1 o'clock, are going to be, well, first of which, GTs and Chimera. So this one is, I don't have odds for this either. I don't know why, probably Chimera, but one of them has probably done some sketchy shit and got blacklisted from the majority of books. GTs probably wins this. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about it because I doubt you're even going to have odds for it. GTs is 121st ranked in the world compared to Chimera's 143. So both pretty shitty teams. GT's slightly better map pool. I would probably take them on the money line. You're not going to find it. We're going to move on. Next one's going to be Spirit Academy and FaveBet. Spirit Academy should win this. 1.42 on the money line, so about minus 220. 70% public consensus favoritism as well. They're 32nd ranked in the world. They're a good team. They've been playing well. Kaisuke's been absolutely crushing. FaveBet is lower ranked. FaveBet is also sponsored by a gambling company, and those teams are sketchy because sometimes they do some sketchy stuff and they throw matches or at least throw maps. And I'm not sure what goes on there, but they've been blacklisted from a variety of books. This one is actually available, so shout out FaveBet for keeping themselves clean. But this one here is going to be Spirit Academy. It's going to be Spirit Academy all day. 1.45 on the money line, I think, is easy money. I'm going to take them here. Probably 2-1 they win. Could be 2-0 if we get a little bit of a shocker there, but I think Spirit Academy takes this. Next one that we have is going to be Fnatic and Fireflux. Public is favoring Fireflux, 52%, so almost dead even. Public's favoring Fireflux. Fireflux is 2.10 on the money line, or plus 110, and Fnatic is 1.65 on the money line, or about minus 180-ish, if I had to guess. I don't really know. Conversion to American odds, I do need to get better at that. Fnatic is 38th ranked in the world, sorry. Burmalov's been playing good. Blamef's been playing good. Crims has not, but I think they probably still take this. I don't really understand public consensus on this. I mean, Fireflux is not horrible. Their map pool is not horrible. They've been beating decent teams, but like they're losing to Iberian Soul. They're losing to Gun 5. Fnatic has some very questionable losses as well. They've lost to Eclat. They've lost to Monte. They've lost to Partizan. So they're not the Fnatic that they used to be. Don't bet them just on namesake. They should win this, but will they win this? We have no idea. I would like to go Fireflux plus 1.5. There's not good value on that. There's not really good value on anything on this match. I would probably leave this off for that reason and for the reason that it's at 1 o'clock. You don't want all of your early legs to hit, and then you're sitting waiting on either Fnatic or Fireflux. That would be an absolute disaster, and you are in for a sweat fest if you choose to do that. I'm going to leave this one off in its entirety. If you need to pick something, I guess Fireflex plus 1.5, but I will leave this one off. I don't have any interest in this match. Gun 5 and ESC. Another kind of snooze fest. This is going to be Gun 5 though. 1.40x on the money line, or about minus 220-ish, and then ESC is 2.7 on the money line, or about plus 170. This one's going to be Gun 5 or Guns, however you pronounce it, all day long. They have the better map pool. They have the better match history. They're going to win this one. So plus 1.42 on the money line. I don't think that's bad at all. I think that's a pretty realistic pick there. And I think that's a good last addition for what we have going on. Let me look and pull up some odds here, and we'll look to build a little bit of a parlay with what we've selected so far. So big and roller coaster. I think roller coaster plus 1.5. If we want to break this down by time, we're getting roller coaster plus 1.5 on Thunderpick at 1.5 times your money. I think that's pretty good. Nip and Metasport. I do think Metasport wins a map here. So we're going to add Metasport plus 1.5. We're just going to break it down by time. So we'll do a parlay for the 4s, parlay for the 7s, parlay for the 10s, parlay for the 1 o'clocks. We're going to add Metasport plus 1.5. Bet Boom Basement Boys. Fuck, there's no value in that. I don't even know if we want to go Bet Boom 2-0 because they might not win 2-0. It's 1.4x on the money line, so like not horrible, about minus 220, but I'm going to leave that one off. I'm just going to add Eklot as the last one. And that's going to get us to, on a combo, 3.31 times your money, or plus 231. So that would be Roller Coaster plus 1.5, so you need Roller Coaster to win a map. Metasport plus 1.5, so you need Metasport to win a map. And Dynamo Eklot money line, so you need them to win the match. You need Eklot to win straight up. They can win 2-1, they can win 2-0. You need Eklot to win the match. Those three things together gets you to 3.31 times your money, or plus 231. I think that's pretty solid for Awaken Cash. I don't see that not hitting. I think that's good for a 4 a.m. Those matches are going to be over presumably by 7, unless they go three maps and overtimes, then they might stretch. But by the time you wake up, shortly thereafter, you should have your cash from this one. Let's move on to 7 o'clock. We are looking at Monty Moneyline. We're going to take Navi Moneyline. We're going to take Sinners Moneyline. And we're going to take, they're missing the other one, so that's fine. We'll take those three for 7 o'clock. That combo is going to be 4.02 times your money on Thunderpick, or plus 302. So again, that's Monty to win the match. We need Monty to beat Z10. We need Navi Jr. to beat 9. And we need Sinners to beat Apogee Esports. So those three things add up to plus 302, or 4 times your money on the money line. Those are your 7 o'clock games. Should be over by 10 o'clock. I think that's a great second parlay. I think both of these are smacking so far. Wake up at 10 o'clock. You woke up to double cash. 10 o'clock, let's see what we got. We got 9 Pandas, Rebels Gaming. We said we're taking Rebels plus 1.5 on that one. We're going to snipe that. We're going to take Cybershock plus 1.5. I'm sticking with that. I like it. 10 o'clock's where it gets kind of sketchy, but we're going to deal with it, roll with the punches. We're taking Passion UA on the money line, and the fourth one is unavailable for sketchy reasons. So that combo is going to give us only 2.49 times your money, and this one seems a lot sketchier than the other two matchups. I mean, Rebels should win that match, so them going plus 1.5 I think is super good. I think Cybershock has a good chance to win the match, and I think Passion's a no-brainer. So looking back at it, it might not be the worst thing in the world. It is significantly lower odds. I think your 7 o'clock is like the most straightforward, that parlay, and so far it has the best odds. But this one at 10 o'clock I don't think is bad either. I would consider this a bankroll builder. You're looking at 2.49 times your money, or plus 149. And again, that's Rebels Gaming plus 1.5, so you need them to win a map. Cybershock plus 1.5, so you need them to win a map. And Passion UA on the money line over Leo. I think that's a great tertiary parlay. Moving on to the 1 o'clocks for our last one. We're looking at Gun 5 and ESC Gaming. We said we are taking Gun 5. Team Spirit and Fave Bet. We are taking Team Spirit. Those two together bring us to nearly even money, and I think that is super good value. The third one that is available on Thunderpick right now is Fnatic and Fireflux, and I don't really want to touch that. I don't think Fireflux, let's see what they are, plus 1.5, 1.38. I mean, if you add that in, you're getting 2.74, so you're taking a lot of risk for like an extra 100% gain on your money. You're looking at 3 times your money nearly instead of 2 times your money, but I do not think that is worth it. I'm going to leave this last one as another bankroll builder. Team Spirit and Gun 5. Those two are getting you 1.98, or about minus 105 American odds, so nearly double your money, nearly even money on that in American odds, and I think that is a good fourth one. So again, for all of the odds discussed today in today's video, my apologies, you're going to want to head to thunderpick.io for the best esports odds in the industry. You can also use our promo link by heading to tinyurl/LCThunder to get a 100% deposit bonus on your first ThunderPick deposit up to $600. Again, they accept most major cryptocurrencies, and you heard that right. They are going to match your deposit bonus up to $600 for 100%. So you deposit $100, they give you $100. You deposit $600, they give you $600. And you are going to be using our promo link, tinyurl.com/LCThunder. And lastly, before I go, one more time, we are running that 70% off sale your first 3 months of Lock City on our weekly and monthly plans. Use code SPRINGFEVER to gain instant access for this incredible price at wap.com/LockCity. That's all from me today. Super excited to get into these matches tomorrow. I think we got 4 absolute slappers of parlays. I would be bamboozled if all of these didn't hit. If we only hit a couple of them, I am going to be offline for the rest of the day. Just kidding. But for real, I think we're going to hit the majority of these. I think the majority of these are super safe. I feel really comfortable about these and super excited to get into tomorrow. See y'all then. Take care.